Welcome. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to add Git to an existing project. To do so, I'm going to set up a new project using Initializer, which will give me a bunch of source code, and then I'm going to add Git source control to that project. So point your favorite browser to initializer.com. Once that page loads, for this demo, you can pretty much use any configuration. I'm going to use Bootstrap, and then I'm going to leave this as default. Then I'm going to add all these options just to give me some more files. Once I'm done, I'm going to click on Download it. All right, great. Now that it's downloaded, I'm going to make sure it's in my download stack. So go to Download Stack, and there it is, initializer.zip. So now I'm going to return to my terminal, and I'm currently in my user's home directory. So pwd shows that I'm in my root folder in my user's home directory. I'm going to go into my projects folder, and here I'm going to expand that zip file that I just downloaded. So unzip space tilde, which is the way we reference our user's home directory, /downloads / and then the name of the zip file. Once you have that, press enter. So the unzip command should expand everything out. So now if we use the ls command, you should see that we have our initializer folder. So let's rename this folder so it looks more like a real project. So I'm going to use the bash command mv to move the folder, which is another way of renaming, specifying the initializer folder, and giving it a new name, web-project. Now press enter. All right, great. So if I do an ls, you can see that I have a web-project there. If I go into it, cd space web-project, press enter. Now I'm in the web project folder. So if I do a pwd, you can see where I'm at. And if I do an ls, you can see all the files that we got by unzipping that zip file. Great, so I'm going to pretend this is my project, and I need to add Git source control to this project. So to do that, I can use Git's init command. So if I type git space init and then press enter, Git will initialize a new repository using the current folder as the current working directory. Now if I do an ls space -al, I can see that I have my .git folder, which is where the Git repository actually lives, along with the other files that are part of this project. Now if I do a git status, Git will remind me that I'm on the master branch, which is the default branch that you get when you create a new Git repository. And since we haven't done any commits yet, we are building up to our initial commit. And then Git notices a bunch of files that it's not tracking yet. So in order to add all these files at once to Git's staging area and to the Git index, we're going to type git space add space and then a period. Then we can press enter. Now if we do a git status, Git lists all the files that are part of this project. Now there are a lot more files than we had before. And that's because the period will recursively add all the files that are part of this project. Well, great. Let's continue on by committing. So now type git space commit space, and now I want to provide a commit message inline. So that would be -m space, and then double quotes, put your commit message. I'm using my first commit, comma, inline. Now press enter. So in this case, the commit command used the commit message we provided with the -m option instead of invoking our text editor. I like using this approach if I just have a one-liner that I want to use as my commit message. So let's do our git status. And as expected, after a commit, we have nothing to commit because we are on a clean working directory. So I'm going to show you one last thing. So if I clear, you notice that I have in parenthesis master. And if I do a git status, it says that I'm on the master branch and that I have nothing to commit. And that my working directory is clean. That's because this working directory is part of a Git repository, or being managed by a Git repository, which is being maintained by that .git folder. Again, if I do an ls with an al option, you can see that I have that .git folder. If that .git folder was no longer there, this project would no longer be managed by Git. So let's do that. So now if I type rm-rf space and then the folder .git, then press enter, we just deleted the .git folder, and in doing so, we removed all traces of Git managing this project. If I do an ls, you can see that we still have all the files that were part of the original zip file. Well, since I'm done with this example, I'm going to clean up after myself. So I'm going to back up a level. So now you can see where I'm at. I'm just within the projects folder. Do an ls. You can see the web-project directory. So now let's remove it. So type rm space -rf space and then the name of the folder, web-project. So now press enter. And we just removed our project. Do an ls. Nothing's there.